Anger. Anger is an emotion we all have, and many of us are scared to show it. We hate the idea of taking anger out on our family or friends or kids or somebody that really does not deserve it. As you will learn in this video, anger isn't actually a terrible emotion, and there are many times when anger is completely justified, but there's also times that it's not justified. What really matters the most is how you express it. And I'm going to give you a couple of examples. August 31st was Overdose Awareness Day, and I saw no post across social media, no news coverage. No one shared the post that I had shared myself. And to me, that is anger that was completely justified. And it's because families who have suffered from overdoses weren't getting any support, whereas just about every other awareness month gets support. And it makes it sound as though those that have overdosed before doesn't matter. But they do, because if you watch my past videos, substance use disorder and overdose as a result of that is a mental illness. But I'm using my anger to channel my creative side, and I'm making a second channel on YouTube dedicated to nothing but substance use disorder, so I can help raise better awareness of substance use disorder and overdoses. And that way, when next year comes around, Overdose Awareness Day and any other event tied to substance use disorder can hopefully have more exposure. But on the flip side of that, if I was to just start lashing out at people and telling them that their support for Breast Cancer Awareness Month does not matter, which it does matter, and stuff like that, I would never get my point across. I would make enemies. I would lose support from those that already support me. And that's just not the right way to do it. But it's time to get into the main part of the video, and I'm going to help you understand anger better. Anger itself doesn't really need an introduction. It's an emotion we've all experienced, and I just want to help you have a better understanding of it. First off, as I said in the intro, anger is not a bad emotion, but it's not a good emotion either. It's nothing wrong with feeling angry. It's a completely normal emotion, and it's healthy within reason. And it oftentimes lets you know if a situation is upsetting or unjust or threatening to you. And it can help you be honest and stand up for something you believe in. Like if you see somebody being bullied, or like my example in the intro, where I felt that Overdose Awareness Day was not getting the publicity it needs. It's something I believe in, and I feel that I'm setting about the right way to fix that problem. But if your knee-jerk reaction is to explode, your message will never have a chance to be conveyed, and you can possibly lose friends, lose part of your family, a job, or get hurt in the process, or even end up in jail. In other words, anger becomes a problem when you express it in a way that harms yourself or others. Expressing your anger like this will likely have a negative impact on how people see you, and they can lose respect for you, or it can impair your judgment, or even get in the way of success at a job or in life in general. And if this is how you express your anger, it's important that you learn how to manage your anger. And that leads me into understanding your anger. The first thing you want to do is find out why you're angry. Is your anger even justified? Or you or someone else being treated unfairly? Or could your anger be masking something else? Are you under a lot of pressure? Or are you embarrassed about something, insecure about something? Do you feel shame? Or is your anxiety spiking? Or are you depressed? Are you unhappy about how your life is going? Or is it some other emotions? Or is it simply something like your body or hormonal changes that's taking place and causing you to have mood swings? The next thing you want to do is identify your triggers. We all face stressful events in our lives, and pretty much every day, but that does not excuse anger. And it's important to identify what events triggers our anger so that we can possibly find ways to get around them. And here's a few examples of some triggers. Do you find that you start fighting with people when you consume alcohol? If you do, try to stop drinking, or don't drink around these people that you find yourself fighting with when you are drinking. Your commute could be a trigger. If you're stuck in traffic, you might want to take a different route, or you might want to leave earlier or later if possible. And then if you go to a supermarket or something, you get stuck in a long line, you might decide to go to a different store. You might go on a different day and avoid days close to the holidays, the days that food stamps come out, and the first of the month when a lot of people are getting their checks. The snarky comments trigger you. What they do, either no longer hang around that person or let them know how it affects you. And if they continue to do it anyway, just get away from them. It's not worth it. You don't want to hang around somebody that is intentionally going to make you mad or do something that's going to continuously hurt you. That's not a good environment. And of course, there's many other ones, but it's something that we all need to find a way to better handle and avoid what we can and change a routine if that's something that we can do. But negative thought patterns can trigger anger too. You can be blaming others. You can be mind reading, this person thinks this of me, and that gives me an excuse to be mad at them. You can be jumping to conclusions, which is something that we all like to do. Or you can be just grasping at straws, just, finding something to be mad about. Again, something we like to do a lot. When you find and identify these thought patterns that fuel your anger, you need to reframe how you think about them. Find a way to look at it in a positive way and a more realistic way in many cases. But with triggers, you also need to recognize the warning signs. It gives you an opportunity to take immediate action and prevent yourself from doing or saying things that create a bigger problem. Some of these warning signs could be having trouble concentrating, headaches, tensing up your shoulders, a tight chest, your heart pounding, knots in your stomach, clenching your hands or your jaws, gritting your teeth, feeling clammy or flushed, sweating, shaking, breathing faster, again your anxiety rising, raising your voice, feeling argumentative, being snappy or defensive, and temporarily losing your sense of humor, pacing or needing to walk around, or being overcritical of someone. Of course, this is not an exclusive list. There's possibly many more, but it's important that you find your own warning signs and get ahead of it while you can. And once you know your warning signs and your triggers, you can act faster to calm yourself. So how do you do that? Well, this is how you deal with your anger. The first thing you can do is find the most immediate solution. That might be leaving the room if there is somebody in that room that's making you mad, or if your kid has spilled the milk. Just turn around and get that out of your sight. If traffic is your problem, take the next exit or pull off for a little while and rest and get the anger out of your system. Or if you go to a restaurant and you're unhappy with it, go to a different restaurant. There's plenty of restaurants out there. And going back to the point I made in my intro, I'm starting a whole nother channel to help better educate people about substance use disorder. I feel that that is the most appropriate action I can possibly take, and one that will likely get the most results the fastest. Another way that I hinted at earlier is by changing your routine. Leave earlier or find a new route, or sit down and have a cup of coffee before you leave the house. That might help you get through the day easier without snapping at people. If someone has did you wrong, try to forgive them. It takes a lot of courage and emotions to forgive someone. And even if you can't forgive them, pretend to. Both ways will help your anger slip some. But to be completely transparent, I'm not saying let someone continuously walk over you. If they're constantly a problem, get them out of your life the best way you can, or don't go around them. Don't just take someone's crap over and over to make your anger go away, because that's just going to make it worse. Get away from them if you have to. But with that being said, you could also try a little empathy. Maybe they're having a bad day too. Maybe what they said or what they did came off differently to you than what they meant to do or say. Just talk to them, get their side, and see if there was possibly a miscommunication or just a failure to communicate somewhere. But you can use your anger to fuel your creative side. You can sing, you can dance, you can play an instrument, you can write poetry, a song, or in a journal. You can paint or draw, or anything you love doing. Anger and other emotions are great fuel for creators. It's also a great idea to focus on the good things. There's always something good in life, even if we don't recognize it. Focus on that, not all the negative stuff. And yes, I do understand that's easier said than done sometimes. Trust me, I'm guilty of it myself. You also want to manage your stress, because stress makes it hard to actually manage your anger. It will make you feel calmer and allow you to easier control your emotions. And ways to do this can be meditation, relaxing your muscles, or deep breathing, or something of that sort. You can also try something super basic like counting. Count to 10, or if your anger is too bad, count to 100 or 200 or whatever. And then you can count forwards or backwards. If you really focus on counting, this will take your mind off of whatever's making you angry, and it will be a great way to gather your thoughts. One of the best ways, though, is to get your body moving. Go exercising, walking, running, bike riding, do some push-ups or jumping jacks. Or if your anger is really up there, do something more energetic like Insanity or P90X or any workout program. Just go to the gym if that's what it takes. Or if you're at work or somewhere where you can't get away, jog in place if possible. Just do something that would allow your anger to abate. Exercise is one of the best ways to help your anger dissipate. You could also try doing something that relaxes you. That could be taking a bath or reading or listening to music, or again exercising, just going for a walk in the park. Whatever it is that relaxes you, do it, and hopefully that will help your anger abate some. It's also a great idea to use humor. It will help lighten the mood, but you do have to be very careful with it. You don't want to use it in the wrong setting, in the wrong situation, and you definitely don't want to come off as you are laughing at the person. You want to laugh with them, not at them. Sleeping more is another great idea, and again, that's something easier said than done. I struggle with sleeping myself, and right now my daughter's teething, so it's really hard for me to sleep sometimes. I'll get woke up every couple of hours because she wants comfort. But it is important to get 7 to 9 hours of sleep a day, which is something I don't hardly ever get, to be honest with you. But if you can take power naps through the day. 10 minutes, 15 minutes. I know I've done that before when I was working at some of my jobs, when I was on break, and it did make it easier to get through the day. If you're in a situation where somebody makes you mad, try walking away. It's one of the easiest ways to deal with it, and you can go back to whatever's angering you later. And when you're angry, it's actually hard to deal with some things. If you're angry with someone or they're angry at you, they might get upset that you're walking away, but you can explain to them that you need to gather your thoughts and you feel that that is the best way to deal with the situation at the time. But never forget that you can always talk to someone that you trust. Talk to a friend, a family member, your spouse. You can talk to God if you like to pray. Or if you feel that you really need it, you can talk to a mental health specialist. If you can't find a place to calm, that might be your backyard, that might be your front porch as you're drinking coffee. It might be going to a park and sitting on the bench and feeding the birds. It might be going into a closet or a prayer closet and just sitting for a while and relaxing. Or it could be any other place, as long as it's something that is accessible to you on an almost normal basis. You can also create your calm down kit. Find something that helps keep you calm. Some people use fidget spinners, some people use stress balls, or it might be something that you can take wherever you go with your phone, or something like music, a podcast, a handheld game such as a Switch or something like that, a Kindle or a book. And preferably you want something that you can take with you everywhere you go, so you can pull it out at a moment's notice, and it can help you calm down then and there. But understand you might need professional help, and there's nothing wrong with that. That does not mean you're weak. If none of these methods I've mentioned already work, you might need more help, and again, that is perfectly fine. Find you some professional help. The best way to do that is to Google it. Just Google anger management and then your city, and hopefully something will come up. If not, you might have to drive a little bit. With all that being said, I want to let you know the bad side effects that chronic anger can have on you over time. There's plenty of physical side effects too, and that's a higher risk of heart disease, higher blood pressure, possible diabetes, and insomnia. On the mental health side of it, it could be added stress, depression, it could cloud your judgment, it could make it harder for you to enjoy your life, and there's plenty other ways that it could affect your mental health. When it comes to your job, if you take your anger out at your job, you could alienate your coworkers. You could lose customers or clients for the business. You can make the entire business go downhill, which I have seen happen before. And you could possibly lose your job. Relationship wise, however, it can leave lasting scars on relationship and cause you to lose friends. And it could be hard for people to speak honestly around you if you are constantly angry, because they will feel uncomfortable around you. And if you take your anger out on your kids, that could cause them to have low self-esteem and not feel important or even unloved, or that they're always doing something wrong, and you never want that in your life. Anger isn't all bad if it's handled correctly, though. It shows you places you can grow, ways that you might be hurting, that you might be stretching yourself too thin, or if someone or something has crossed the line. And of course, there's many other ways, but again, it's all how you handle it. If you've ever watched the Disney Pixar film Inside Out, or if you know anything about emotions in general, you know all of our emotions are important and they work together to help get us through life. And anger, while it does seem like a negative emotion, much like sadness did in Inside Out, it is not completely negative, and it is essential for our personalities. We just need to keep it in check and express it in the right way, and most importantly, not take it out on the wrong person. And please remember, it's nothing wrong with seeking help if you feel as though your anger is out of control. Getting help can save you your family, your friends, your job, your relationship, or even your life. If you have gotten any value out of this video, please like it. That way it can reach more people, or share it for the same reason. And thank you for watching.